So learners, in this part, we are going to understand in connection with rural development, the agricultural credit that is being given in India. So when we are talking of credit basically means a loan given, right? So we need to take some financial help from different institutions for maybe a short term purpose or for a long term purpose. Farmers may need money for a number of things, several things. It could include buying of seeds, then any kind of payments made towards labor, then any kind of transportation facilities that are required. So they may also need funds for buying equipments. They may need funds for buying of the livestock, like maybe the bulls, the bullock carts, and such other things. So many different reasons can be there for taking of loans. So credit here we are talking about taking loans. Now if we have to classify the agricultural credit, that agricultural credit would be classified in two main parts. One is based on tenure and second one which is based on the purpose. So why they are borrowing that money. So first is, if you're talking of tenure, it is classified in three parts again. One is the short term, which is for, let's say, up to 2 years, where you say seed facility, sowing and reaping, and maybe cultivation related expenditures. For that purpose, they are borrowing. Second is talking about medium term, which is up to, let's say, 5 years. So you are talking about improvisation to land, then maybe like clearing, compounding of that land, and so on. So putting a compound, a net facility, then any kind of improvisation in terms of bringing the land to its cultivable proportion, or maybe if the soil fertility is gone down, then how to bring it back again. All that would be a part of the expenditure connected to medium term. If we are talking of long term, more than 5 years, then you may have to talk about buying of equipments, let's say a tractor. So if the farmer needs a tractor, the tractor may give the benefits maybe up to 10 years. So the loan can be taken for more than 5 years, and this tenure is something which we term as long term. Maybe they also need to construct a warehouse. So construction of warehouse, for that they borrow the money. It will extend to again more than 5 years. So these are the basic, you can say, credit facilities which are in on the basis of tenure. Now if we have to talk about credit or loans which are taken based on purpose, why they are taken, then there will be two purposes. One is productive and second one is unproductive. Now you would say, what is this unproductive source? Productive we can understand, right? You're buying seeds with it, you're buying a tractor with it. Basically productive would mean where that particular money is taken and utilized for their business, and this business is what? Agriculture. So when they put it in agriculture, they are going to get returns, they are going to get profits against that money which is invested. But what about the non-productive things? Non-productive things would include for their own personal purpose, maybe for like a family function of marriage. So they need a loan, but with the marriage, they are not going to get profits. They're not going to have a recurring earnings or such certain other things, but they need the loan for that time. So that's why they are borrowing it, and they agree to repay it from the whatever the business, the agriculture that they are doing. So these are the two basic classifications we can say in terms of agricultural credit. Now coming to the sources, from where can they borrow, right? This is a very important thing. So in villages, they don't have everywhere the banks. So as in the previous sections we learned, they may also go to money lenders. So here, based on the sources, we have two main sources of funds. One is the non-institutional sources, where they are the money lenders, and the private lenders, private sources like friends, family, relatives, and all. Right? So money lenders who give them the money, they are not a legal banking system as such, but they give it on the basis of interest. So they give the money, they sign some documents as collateral, as security, and they have the interest charge. So everything is done just like a bank, but they are not the authorized institutional organizational structure which lends the money, right? So these are the money lenders. And second one, as I told you, which are like friends, family, maybe they don't charge interest also, they just give the money for a certain time period and recover it back. That's it. Coming to institutional sources now, these are the legalized, formalized organizations by the government which are recognized to give loans for to the farmers. They have a lot of stringent requirements also when they are giving the loans sometimes, but always like the loan when coming to repayment of the loan, they have their own terms and conditions. The first organization which we are talking about is a NABARD. NABARD is basically the National and Agricultural Bank for Rural Development. Okay, so this is something, a banking system developed by the government specifically for the purpose of agriculture and rural development. This was established on 12th July 1982. NABARD is as an organization is fully owned by the government now. Okay, then comes the other institutions which we have, which are the rural cooperative credit institutions. Now, what is the list of these type of institutions we are going to see here? The first one is the primary agricultural credit societies. Primary agricultural credit societies. These are basically formed for the purpose of giving short-term credit. Generally, they give short-term credit. They may also extend long-term, but generally for short-term. Then comes the district central cooperative banks, DCCB, district central cooperative banks. These are like a small banks, district level banks which give them the credit facility. Then come the state cooperative banks. We are all aware of cooperative banks at different levels. So they are the state cooperative banks which function on the state level. Then come the commercial banks. Like if in India we talk about commercial banks, they could be like the Bank of Maharashtra, State Bank of India, and so on. Then we also have regional rural banks. And finally, there are also microfinance institutes which are developed specifically to give small funds, maybe 20,000, 50,000, and so on. So overall, this was related to the rural development of India. And in this part, we studied about how the lending can happen to the agriculture and the industries in the rural areas. So for rural development, getting credit facilities is very important. And this is what we learned in this part. Now, we are going to proceed to the next chapter. And the next chapter, we are going to talk about population of India.